Hi, this is Lily Cotilla. Welcome to Ibogreen. 5-MEO-DMT, or regular DMT, the difference being primarily the concentration level of the chemical. DMT lasts for hours, 4 to 6 hours. 5-MEO-DMT is a 15 to 20 minute experience, and they both serve similar yet different aspects of psychological help and healing. Both are good for individuals. It just depends on what particular type of situation and or internal issue one is experiencing. Now, this said, I have something wild to share that actually completely caught me off guard. Prior to working with 5-MEO-DMT and DMT, which I do not administer, I was not familiar with the smell of it. And over the last few years, I have become familiar with the smell of 5-MEO and DMT. This chemical is released at birth and at death. It is the universal compound that connects all our beings, according to research, and where we have out-of-body experiences of connection on a spiritual soul level that the individual ego prevents us from having. Now, this said, it's also released in times of intense PTSD, according to research. But being a very clean person and being very sensitive myself, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, and I don't drink. In the last week, I have been smelling 5-MEO-DMT, DMT, as I'm walking around my day in California. And I'm thinking to myself, have the client's experiences seeped into my skin and I can smell myself like smelling 5-MEO-DMT? Tonight I was dancing tango and I could not believe it. This was the 4th time in the last week that I have smelled this molecule in the air being released like pheromones or naturally by the body, whether it be in sweat or other glands or other avenues of release, I don't know. But tonight, during tango, I absolutely smelled this molecule. And as I mentioned, at other times as well, perhaps in the grocery store or walking down the sidewalk, it was connected to some individual where the wafts of air were bringing it in my direction. So I think there is a lot more to this molecule than research currently demonstrates, because these tango dancers, the connection beyond individual body while dancing with other, the smell in the room was so distinct. It had something perhaps to do with connection beyond individual ego and beyond body. I don't know, I'm just speculating. But if you can imagine never having smelled a substance before, and then all of a sudden becoming aware that this smelled substance exists, you'll start to smell it in other locations as well. Like pot, for example. If you've never known what marijuana smells like, you could be walking down the street, smell it, and not think twice about it. But once you're exposed to knowing what this scent is, the next time you smell it, you think, oh, that's marijuana. Same thing with, for example, aspartic acid. Aspartic acid, some people have the gene to detect it and some people don't. But when you eat asparagus, the body converts the food to aspartic acid, which you urinate out. And it has a very pungent smell to it. Now, if you don't smell it, you don't smell it. But if you do smell it, you know what I'm talking about. Whereas before ever having asparagus or knowing that correlation between the aspartic acid smell and asparagus, you wouldn't have had any clue what it was that you were smelling. So this 5-MeO-DMT and DMT scent that my olfactory nerve detected is so interesting because the research, again, to repeat, that currently exists states that it is the primary spiritual molecule released at birth, death, and times of PTSD. And these tangoers tonight, for sure, were not experiencing PTSD. So there is something more to this chemical compound than we know about scientifically at this point in time. Anyone who's interested, I encourage you to research more. I think there's something pretty special to it, having to do with life and death and or presence and or checking out or dissociating or being in the mind versus being in the body and connecting on many pheromone levels or levels of the heart and psyche and spirit, rather than just the cognitive talk. So, something to think about. Blew me away.